This is my favorite one. I was just looking up the CEO of SIG, right, Mr. Cohen, and I was like, what's he about, right? Maybe doing the early life check, as some people on the internet like to say. But I was just seeing what happening, and the first article that pops up on Mr. Ron Cohen is the arrest in, what was it, 2018, 2019? Let's go ahead and read this. All right. So will avoid jail. Okay, so this one here is so they 6 Sauer did illegally ship 38,000 pistols to Colombia. Colombia was in a state of civil war, which violates German law to send guns to a civil war scenario, I want to say. So that's a big no-no. You can't send 38,000 pistols to Colombia. 38,000 times $1,000 is like $4 million probably for that shipment. So Cohen, along with his two co-defendants, were accused by German prosecutors of breaking the country's export laws by covering up, lying about the final destinations of the weapon in exchange for admitting his involvement in the scheme. Cohen was given an 18-month prison sentence, which was suspended, and he was also fined nearly $750,000. His co-defendants, both based in Germany, received lighter sentences. So this is admitting that they lied and covered up the final destination of these 38,000 pistols to Colombia. Right.
If
so
I did
again, if I was
correctly,
a betting man, okay, and I was like, surely this 6 Sauer CEO would never lie to me about anything ever, except when he's been proven to do so in the past to the German government, right? So maybe Mr. Cohen isn't all that trustworthy, right?
If I did my math correctly, they paid a fine of $17.76 per pistol.
Now that should be pretty easy, right? So 675,000 divided by 38,000, $17.76. So
1776.
Yeah.
17. How ironic.
That's funny. 1776. That's amazing. Yes, he was fined $17.76 per pistol shipped illegally to Colombia. Again, the very important part is that we don't need to say allegedly here, because he admitted his involvement in the scheme. And again, the problem is that they covered up the final destination. They lied, right? So 6 Sauer German's division is also ordered to repay more than $12 million. The gun makers are owned by a German conglomerate, L&O Holdings. Mixed arm reaction, $300 million. Wow. Whoa. Ooh, in 2009, a $300 million contract to ship SP 2022 pistols to the National Police Force of Colombia. That's a lot of pistols to Colombia. $300 million? What are we talking about?
I don't think we're talking about pistols anymore.
No, it says the $300 million contract to ship SP 2022 pistols. But now, if you remember in last week's or on Wednesday's stream, what was that Indonesian government paying? Like $1,700 per pistol?
I think that's about what it was, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, 38,000 pistols. Okay, now I gotta do the math on that. 38,000 pistols, what they sent them, times $1,700. We are looking at $64 million. So that's 20% of that contract.
But how much of it went to mushrooms and soy sauce from Caracas? Right. That's the real question.
Yeah, so Cohen, in October 2018, Cohen was arrested upon arrival at Frankfurt. That's a business trip gone south. You arrive in the country and immediately get arrested.
Yeah.
And spent 10 days in jail. That's nice. In U.S., you would not spend that long in jail. Not possible. But that's Mr. Cohen. So, I mean, if he tells you that the 320 has no issues, and says that he certainly wouldn't lie to you, I might press X to doubt. Just a little bit.
Do you have the Google Drive of the lawsuit pulled up that had the bill of the itemized bill that we had on from Pro Tour?
No, that's on the Wednesday stream. If people want to check that out, that's on the Wednesday stream. But essentially, they paid some consultant like $1 million in total for like random trips and whatnot, and it was all allegedly kickbacks and bribes, right?
And some of them, if I remember correctly, some of it was from India, some of it was from Venezuela, some of it was from Colombia. I was
Mhm.
going to go back and I'm going to go back and look and see if any of the money from that particular instance was going to potential shell companies in Colombia as well.
Honestly, if you go back and you look at all the places and where they originate from, that's very possible. Very,
Yeah.
very possible.
Yep. And now, do we know anything about what was it, L&O Holdings, the people who
Who
own
own
SIG?
them? I've never looked into them. Maybe that's a good topic to do some research on, Mr. L&O Holdings. See who owns them.
Yeah, I think that
Take
might
your
be
guess.
interesting.
Take your guess.
I would
Yes, and
never.
well, Dixie points out. So Dixie Mauser, also a great account to follow on Instagram, says y'all know a lot of the SIG products are made in Israel. So they're made in India, Israel, and America, even though they claim that all the parts are made in America, although they are not. Which is funny because again, Mr. Cohen, the design for the 320, he's coming from an idea of IDF carry, which is not around in the chamber, and that's kind of what the 320 was designed around. So that's a little, maybe that has something to do with them going off unintentionally. Now, I don't know if you saw this yet, Richard, but SIG did just announce a new brand ambassador specifically for the P320, and it's a
The
no-handed
no-handed
shooter,
shooter.
no-handed shooter, because he is immune to the 320, as it were, blowing up. So yeah,
I wasn't going to say it, but
their new sponsored shooter is a
well,
no-handed shooter.
I mean, I guess that's one way to fix the frame to keep it from blowing out the side because he covers all of his frames in JB Weld.
Mm.
I guess that's one way to keep it together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean that. All jokes aside, like no-handed shooter is actually like a really good shooter, and there's no
he's
excuse.
excellent.
He's got no hands and he's getting more training in than you. What's your problem?
So I've actually binge watched his content because I think he's amazing, regardless, even if he did have hands. He's still
Mhm.
a great
Yeah,
shooter.
and it's a good story about overcoming, right?
It really
You
is.
know,
I would love
regardless
to
of
get
whatever
him
issues you
on
have.
sometime.
Some of us are retarded, some of us are autistic, and we still have to live normal lives. So,
Yeah, in case the chat isn't aware, Discord was trolling and passing around an autism test, and I
oh my
took it just
gosh.
because I wanted to. It was going to be a joke, right? I was like, "Oh, it's an autism test." Blah. Yeah, no, I scored in like the top 3 percentile. The top score
Oh,
of
it's bad.
that
You
had
were what were
the
you like
top.
170, 180?
No, no, no. I was 195. I was the
Oh, dude.
highest. I was one of the highest that it ever that it ever scored.
Mm.
It
Now
was
I'm officially mildly autistic with a score of 77 out of 240, and I thought I was doing really good, but apparently not.